We've been married for a few years and have a baby. We had relationship issues after the baby, but I thought we had resolved them, and he promised he would be better and all that. He did get better. He did his share around the house, and house chores aren't a big issue because he just does what needs to be done without complaint or comment. But something at the back of my head felt off. I never really explored the nagging feeling, but now I realized that he never showed me any extra care. In fact, he gets upset or easily frustrated with me if I cause any extra inconvenience. Not sure how I didn't notice until now. So 2 days ago, I think I got sick. I was feeling that gross, thick skin feeling and vertigo, lightheaded, and by nighttime I was shivering and freezing. I was still able to function, so I didn't think much of it. Complained to my husband about it, and then we went asleep. Yesterday, I woke up feeling like my bones were lead. How I functioned yesterday, but it felt like autopilot. My boss messaged me with some tasks, so I did them on my phone before my baby woke up. Rolled out of bed and somehow took my sister to school. Came back and worked some more. Usually I have energy to flip between being a mom and working, but yesterday I just laid on the floor to work while my 1-year-old watched some MS Rachel. Then had to pick up my sister from school, come home to make dinner, and by the time my husband came home, I felt dead on my feet. Anytime I moved, it felt like I was lagging and my body couldn't keep up. I told my husband this a few times. We ate. I put away the leftovers and put the baby to sleep while my husband went to his office to do some quick work. After this, I don't really remember because my brain was foggy. I found myself in his office. We exchanged a few words, but I don't remember what, and next thing I knew, I woke up alone in his office on the floor. I felt so heavy and out of it. It took so much effort to get up, but when I got out, all the lights were off, the kitchen was not touched, and he was in bed. I just stood in the kitchen and realized that he just doesn't care. I already knew he wasn't going to clean the kitchen tomorrow, and that he didn't care I felt off. I had a busy day planned, and I didn't have time to wash all the dishes the next day. So I loaded the dishwasher and then went to bed. I laid down, and 5 minutes later, my husband, very angrily, told me to turn off the lights in the kitchen. At this point, I had no energy to deal with him, so I ignored him and fell asleep. The next morning, today, I woke up covered in sweat, but that gross feeling was gone. That's when I realized that I was sick. My husband was upset with me. He wouldn't talk or look at me and was stomping around. I tried to ask him about yesterday, but he just grumbled something about me, confusing him. Everything from yesterday caught up, and I just can't see him the same. I realized that he has never taken care of me or done anything that was inconvenient for him. I've been sick before, and every time it's the same thing. He gets upset at me somehow. After I had a baby, he was upset that nothing was kept up around the house, yet got angry with me when I fainted from overexertion at 2 weeks postpartum. I remember him yelling at me that I did this to myself, and it's my fault for not taking care of myself, even though just 2 days before. He was telling me that he was angry with me for not keeping up with laundry, and that I needed to clean the kitchen because it was starting to smell, and he didn't want to cook anymore. Don't even get me started on how he never woke up at night. All these memories hit me, and I just am disgusted by him. How did I not see this? What do I even do? I'm going to stop here before the post gets too long. Edit, he just texted me saying he's beat and could barely brush his teeth this morning. I don't even know what to respond.
So we met at 16. It was an improv comedy camp that both our parents sent us to, and we just so happened to be in the same group. She had a name similar to a character, and I teased her just a little about it, and I of course took her Skittles from her lol. She had long black hair and an amazing smile. I was head over heels instantly. I told her I loved her by the end of the camp lol, 1 week. We were long distance for 2 years, and every day I fell more and more in love, and she did too. We would both write a love letter every Friday and send it to each other, and would constantly be on the phone with one another. We promised to be each other's forever person. One night she told me of her pedo father. We were 17 at the time, and I decided that I would help her escape on her birthday, 18. And in the middle of the night, we found ourselves together laughing at the brilliant escape plan we just executed. I kissed her and felt the rush I always did, and she couldn't stop kissing me. We made love in a cheap motel room that night. I guess we didn't care because she made the rest of the world seem like a blur. I only saw her and we promised each other forever. When we moved in, I bought a ring but kept it in my pocket for the perfect moment. We spent a year living together, and each day we fell more and more and more. I knew everything about her, she knew my soul. She got into college and I was finishing a quick course for my career. She had gotten a new job and we were beginning to build a life together. We had been through ups and downs, arguments, dancing under the night sky, began saving for a house. Even thinking about her now, I can't help but feel the butterflies I felt every time I looked at her. She met a man at work. He was a security guard. They became fast friends and she seemed to turn on me. Everything I did seemed to make her upset. I never did enough. I never helped out. I never gave her anything. I knew she had mental health problems relating to her upbringing and she was in therapy. So I asked her to have a conversation with me. It seemed she was willing and I thought we had settled our differences. She was my first love. I needed to save us. She stopped showing up at night. I would call and text and get one-word answers, until she told me she was just hanging out with friends. I believed her. I didn't want to believe what I was suspecting. The ring I kept in my pocket for the perfect moment began to grow heavy, like I knew I had a burden I had to deal with, but a fear to handle the loneliness I would have to overcome. She broke up with me on January 7th, 2023. I had bought her flowers before picking her up at therapy. She began to cry. I began to cry. Well, truthfully, I don't know if I've stopped crying. I was met with, I just need a break for me so I can focus on my mental health. I wanted to believe her. I moved towns. I couldn't handle the memories, every street, every corner, every person held. I would talk to her in my dreams every night. I learned she had got pregnant from the man 4 months after we broke up. She sent me a text saying that she broke my heart in order to save me. I suddenly believed what I didn't want to. I still find myself quite lost in life. She was my person, my best friend. We would sit and laugh for hours and call it a date after. I wish I could take back everything we did. I wish she could unmeet my mom, who took her in like her own. I wish I was worth her being here. The truth is, I'll never fall out of love with the person I thought she was. She made life feel like a dream, only for it to become a nightmare. I'm glad I got to feel that level of love, but I suppose I had to learn from the hurt. I often compared everyone to her. She was the woman who taught me what love felt like after all. I find I think of her less each day, and I'm scared that it'll feel like I'm losing her all over again. I'm scared that the feelings I had never really mattered, or hers were never real. But I find myself going on a walk to look at the sunset every day. I find myself trying to get through this. Love doesn't take a day to teach you what it has to say. It takes a lifetime. And if my first love was this good, I can't help but think the second will be much better.
Got divorced few years ago. Me, F45, and ex-husband M42 had fights about money and spending. We both worked full-time and made about the same amount of money. We have kids and owned apartment. See, both got good salary. Not huge, but we lived comfortably, or so I thought. He had access to my bank account and phone and knew always what I got salary and what I'd spent. I never had his, sus#1. He liked nice stuff. I've never been into shopping and never go to salon, etc. We got shared household, so the person paid who got money and we never counted who paid what. At some point I didn't know where the money had gone. I asked and he was shady about it. sus#2. All I knew, I paid more and more bills and also gave money to him to pay his bills. After breakup, turns out he had taken big loan behind my back. He confessed after he tried to win me back. He were already moved out. Money was spent on TVs, PlayStations, cars, clothes, you name it. I didn't truly knew we had no money for all of that. I wasn't cool with shopping expensive stuff and shared my doubts. He assured we afford everything. There was also some pressuring having intimacy. Eventually I wanted less and less, and he then acted like a child. I also experienced belittling from him. Due to all this, I wanted divorce. I brew my thought years while this all was happening. So after hard breakup and long divorce, we continued living together. Not smart from me, but he insisted. Eventually things get stiff between us and I call it off. I wanted both of us to moving forward. His parents bought big and nice apartment for him, and for the kids, we shared custody equally. They also made full, all-paid renovation. I sold alone our apartment and all the leftover furnitures, which he didn't want, and they didn't fit into my new apartment, and paid him half for every single dime I got from house-end sold furnitures. We didn't have marriage settlement any kind. He didn't have to pay full rent to his parents, after I kindly informed Mill about their son's loans. They decided to pay all his living expenses so he can reduce his department. At the same time, I got small apartment, struggled a lot. I lost my dad and almost didn't keep up with all expenses. When I tried to talk about money and child support, I suggested keeping child benefits for me. We agreed share them, do 50-50 custody. I tried to reason with him not paying nearly anything while I have full rent and other costs. He laughed out loud. Too bad you don't have parents to pay your rent and help you out. My dad had just a month ago passed after long suffer. Ex-husband knew exactly how much my dad meant to me and laughed to his passing. I said nothing back and sucked it up. In that time we still lived together after divorce. He hacked my phone, got into every socials I got. WhatsApp, Messenger, DMs, all. Then he moved away and I started to dating immediately. Of course he knew everything, he stalked my phone. He got contact to all my dating partners, harassed them so many ways. One guy even had phone calls in the middle of night. My ex made them dating profile for gays and share this guy's number there. So that guy got harassed by multiple men. My ex threatened to go over one guy's house, beat him up. He looked up their address and all. Called him several times on night and day. Then I find out the phone was hacked and got him out from my apps, changed passwords, etc. Once he came into my home, the one where he had moved away, interrogate where have I been and with who. He grabbed my phone and tried to open it. He convinced he can open my phone anytime. That was scary. One night I was a party. He stalked Instagram and got to know where I was and with who. Again, one person he harassed. I had blocked him, but we had mutual acquaintances who posted during party. Ex calls both of us over and over. I answered to get him calm. Didn't work. He yells me over the phone in the middle of night, threatened to come and beat up every party guests and so on. I just say calmly, you have our kids there with you. Please calm down, etc. Didn't work either. I tried to talk him reason, no go. He was manic. I had to hung up. I was scared, I must tell. Then my daughter calls me crying, why daddy is so angry at you, mom. Mom, please get out of there and go home before dad does something stupid, etc. She overheard her dad to call and yell loudly, crying face. I was fuming. She actually believed his dad is going to harm me and other people and was scared. I was, and I still am super angry to him, but I stayed my cool, talk him only calmly. I knew I lose if he breaks my cool. Daughter eventually got therapy. I took all the curses. He wished I get STD, and get beaten up by my dating partners and so on. He messed with our custody agreement, tried to have solely kids, bashed my motherhood and ability to take care of our kids. I never flinched my eye when he called me WHRE, BH and other names. Usually his rage bursts happened in front of the kids. During changes, I played deaf and never reacted. I tried to talk sense, send few messages. I tried reason, do our self-agreed custody deal. I got us into counseling. He came there once. I tried get him there again without success. He was deep into manic rage at several occasions during few year prior post-divorce. At this point, had to clarify, I never cheated. Not once. He was just so mad for breakup and me moving on so fast and losing control over me. He tried to manage whom I am with, wanted me to suffer and be as sad as possible, but I was getting myself back day after day. One guy I met, he was super nice. I was so thrilled about him, totally crush, got scared and angry about my ex harassing him, and he stopped dating me because all the drama. I was so pissed, but never let my ex knew anything about my feelings. I buried all and keep my mouth shut. He even harassed my current boyfriend. Luckily, my BF was giving F about it. Now my ex has found a girlfriend. I have met her briefly and I greeted her smile on my face. They are dated now about 6 months. He has calmed down, not all the way yet, but better. I suck it up for so long. He called me horrible names. I got PTSD due to his harassing. He made fun about my BF and been so disrespectful all this time. I cried and was sick of him so many times. All the pain he got all us through, especially our kids. I was living doormat. All for being the bigger person and keep him in children's lives at any cost, even my own sanity and chance to ever find happiness.